You're watching MMA Oddsbreaker. I'm Frank Trigg. That, of course, is Luke Rockhold getting ready to headline an event coming up here on January the 15th versus Costa Philippou, rather. Excuse me. They're Luke. You've been fighting for a while. You've had some ups and downs. You know, as far as your career goes. You're headlining UFC Fight Night 35. You beat Costas. What do you think this is going to put you within the UFC hierarchy of the weight class?
First of all, let's just call them Constantinos. You know, I prefer that. It's a little more prestigious. You know, let's just stick with that. And you know, I'd like to think I've had more ups than my one down really in my career. But
well, let's be honest. Not even a one down. It's kind of a half a down. Like it was just like a little slip. It wasn't a full down.
A glitch, you know.
Yeah.
A glitch in the action. I think a win over Costa, you know, depends on how I win and what I do, but I believe I can go out there and make a statement and put myself right back in the top of the division. I mean, it was, you know, I didn't get beat up by Vitor, and I got caught, and it doesn't show all that much, and I'm proving I'm going to go out there and prove I'm at the top of the division. I'm right back in the contender mix.
I want to take a quick little half step back and talk about Vitor for a second. He obviously is chemically enhanced. I mean, there's no way around it.
Yeah.
He's admitted it. I mean, you know, it's just what it is. You know, even Keith Kaiser at the Nevada State Athletic Commission has come out and said how difficult it would be for him to get a TRT exemption here because he's already failed the steroid test here, and that's pretty much the same for any commission. What was your feeling on chemical enhancement after the Vitor fight? Like, did your view change on it? Did you have an epiphany all of a sudden getting caught by a guy like that, or is it still just part of the game that we're just have to deal with as athletes?
I mean, it sucks, but it seems like we have to deal with it. It seems like it's becoming so prevalent in the sport. It's just everywhere. You know, all these guys are trying to find exemptions and ways to use it. And even guys in their 20s, it's pretty much a joke at this point. But you know, I'm going to stick to my guns, and I'm going to know, you know, that I'm a clean fighter, and I'll always be. I'm not going to resort to taking any supplements of that kind. So, you know, I get my testosterone the right way, like sleeping and eating some steak and some healthy foods. You know, I just try to, you know, I think it could help you in a lot of ways, but I think it takes you know, I think guys that they use it are they know they need like something, and if you get past their energy and their burst and their you know, what they have in the beginning, then they usually break because they supplement, they cheat, and they don't put in the hard work that you know, a lot of us true, you know, clean athletes do.
Do you see it as an uneven playing field? Because that's one of the big arguments a lot of the media is making, is that it's uneven. You get a guy like Vitor who's been doing it for so long, then all of a sudden you give him, you know, put him on steroids or put him on TRT, it gives him 10 years back of his life. But if everyone can do it, everyone can find an exemption, is it really an uneven playing field at this point, or is it just more verbiage that we're trying to make it hyper and a hotter topic than it really is?
Yeah, I mean, it's not necessarily even, of course. You know, I think that definitely gives you, you know, bursts of energy and power. And, you know, I feel guys, guys come through my training camp, and I feel what that strength is like. And when it's there, it's like, wow, you know, something's not right here. Something's going on. And, you know, you don't feel that, but with most guys. So it definitely helps you in some ways, for sure. But, you know, I think in the end it'll catch up to people, and it'll catch up to Vitor. You know, it has in the past, and who says he wasn't? You know, obviously he was taking stuff a lot longer, way before he was exempt for TRT because of the steroid. You know, getting caught for that. So I think that's a big issue in this sport is someone who's been caught for steroids and then still gets, you know, to use steroids. Basically, I mean, steroids have proven to lower your testosterone, and you know, obviously he needs to, you know, reboot his testosterone to make up for what he lost.
You know, coming from a huge wrestling background, we've been dealing with steroids, especially with the Europeans, for a long time because they were on it by government. The government put them on it. You know, it wasn't privately, you know, endorsed. It was publicly endorsed for their athletes, and so we had to deal with it all the time. And it was one of those deals where it's just part of the game. It's always been part of the game for me. It's just you've got to battle against guys that are on steroids. And then when I retired 2 years ago, I was feeling like shit, Luke. I was feeling horrible. So I went in and went and looked at testosterone replacement therapy from the Universal Men's Clinic. And I got to be honest with you. If somebody called me today and said, you got to compete, I'd tell them no way. Because it did give me back 10 years of my life. It gave me back 10 years. I went from 41 to 31 in a matter of months. And to be able to compete like that is highly illegal. There's no way in hell I would ever compete on TRT because I now have 20 years of experience and 10 years younger. It's not fair. It is absolutely not fair. And I flip-flopped. I've changed. My attitude has changed since I went on it because I'm like, I'm working out now with guys that are half my age and kicking the crap out of them and have no business being in the room with them at all at this age and at this ability. But I am because I'm on TRT. And then be able to fight like that, there's a loophole. I don't like it. I think it should be changed. But as a fan, let's be honest. Unfortunately, you're a friend of mine, so when it happened to you, I was in that middle zone. I was like, oh my God, it's great. Oh, it sucks. Oh, I got to know what to do with it. But Vitor on steroids is fun to watch. Like, he's a fun character to watch. He looks the part, he fights the part, and he wins dramatically. And so you're like, as a fan, I'm just going to keep my mouth shut and let them deal with it. You know, but as a former fighter, and my friends are getting hit with it, I'm like, dude, this is not good. Like, this is bad. This is the way guys are going to get hurt. I think John Jones actually is one to kind of open up my eyes a little bit to it because he was like, it's giving you back 10 years, and it's not fair to have a guy with that kind of experience plus 10 years younger. Yeah. In you're right now is like, I'm staying clean, I'm eating right, I'm eating healthy, I'm training hard, I'm training right, and that's just the way it's going to be. Yeah. Do you think your attitude might change in 5 years from now? Do you think your attitude might change in 10 years from now if you're still competing? You're like, look, now it's at a point where I've got no choice.
No, I really, if I can't win at the top of the sport, healthy and clean, I won't be here, but I believe I can. I know I've competed against some of the best guys, and I know they've been taking stuff, and I take pride in beating these guys, and I think give me another shot at Vitor, and I think there'll be a different outcome.
And I'm not saying these guys are on steroids by any means, but I'm saying these are some of the top guys that you've battled against and beat up. Jesse Taylor. You submitted to Jesse Taylor. You decisioned Souza. You TKO'd Keith Jardine. You decisioned Tim Kennedy, who is damn near impossible decision because he's got a gas tank like you wouldn't believe. And you did it almost effortlessly. It looked like there was no problem with you at all pulling it together. You've got the technique and you've got the style, and it seems like that just that one, like I said, a half step back against Vitor is the only thing that you've got a glitch of in your career thus far. Not something look back and go, oh crap, that's not something bad. You look back and go, okay, there's my lesson, here it is. Are you hunting and looking for a Vitor rematch? Are you hoping that he gets pushed in, which he is, and get jumped into the title fight and wins, so that fast tracks you to getting a rematch with Vitor? Or is a Vitor rematch just one of those things that's going to kind of happen on its own? And you hope to get it, but you're not hunting for it.
I'm hunting for it, 100%. I want Vitor more than I want a title shot. I'm just gonna come out and say it right now. But I'm gonna find my way there as soon as I can.
There a win over Philippou coming up here on January 15th. I think it'll put you right back in that track and right back in that light. Mm-hmm. Are you gonna have to take a page out of Chael Sonnen's book and start talking to get that? Do you think to get that, or is it gonna be one of those? Because that's not your nature. You're not a guy that goes out there and talks a bunch of crap on somebody. Even now, I'm having to pull stuff out of you because it's not your nature. You're a very humble, nice guy. Are you gonna have to change that a little bit to get that fight, to make that fight happen?
I'm just gonna speak my mind. I'm not like a big crap talker. I don't like come out and make up a bunch of stuff like Chael. But I'll poke and I'll push buttons, and I want what I want, and obviously I want a rematch with Vitor and on American soil. That'd be nice.
Yeah, don't hold your breath on American soil. I don't see him getting. Well, if you can get him here, and you can make that happen, it definitely evens the playing field because he'll be on a lot of scrutiny. He'll be checked, triple checked, quadruple checked, weeks leading up to, and then the day of. So it could make it a lot. Chemically speaking, he could make it a lot better. Won't make it even, but it'll make it a lot better.
I'm sure they'd take us to one of those good commissions around the United States. One of the few that where he could be exempt and find his way there. But at least I'd be here, and I really think I can change the outcome of that fight, and he's not going to be landing a spinning heel kick. I guarantee you that again.
I'll be honest with you because I've seen you work out. I've trained with you. I've followed your career pretty closely, and I don't see him catching with anything explosive like that again. It's going to be a very grinding match that he doesn't like being in. He hates grinding out matches. You watch the way that when he was on steroids in big and heavyweight. You watch the way that Randy beat him. Randy beat him by grinding on him. Couture, he just ground on him and grind on him, and he can't stand those kind of fights.
Yeah.
When he beats guys, it's always explosive. Machine gun punches, and then he beats a guy out. A spinning back heel hook, and he catches a guy and he beats a guy out. You grind on him, he falls apart, and that's exactly what you'll do to him the next time you guys fight. You'll grind him out, and he'll just fade on you, and then come second round, he'll just quit. That's just what he does. So I would like to see that fight. I really would. I think that'd be a fun fight.
I just got, I carried a lot of my shoulders in that fight going down to Brazil to fight him and all that coming into the UFC. So it was just, I kind of got too emotional and fell into, I guess, a boxing match. My game plan was to come forward, and I got in there. I was so worried about his hands, Vitor Belfort being that super fast, boxer with dangerous power in his hands. And once I was in there, I felt like I could see his punches, and he wasn't as fast as I thought he was. And so I relaxed and I faded back, and I started, trying to box with him and landing punches when I should have just stuck to the game plan. And that's it's a learning experience, and it'll never happen again. And just stay calm and just fight my fight rather than get emotionally invested in a fight. It's the first time it's ever happened really to me, and definitely not going to let that one happen again.
I'm glad you said that, because you shared that with me. You shared your game plan with me off camera when we did your interview before that fight, and I was like, did he just tell me that to kind of offset me? Was he changing things up? Because when you stopped coming forward, I was like, why does he stop coming forward? Like, that's his game. Is it the drive into him? Like, what happened? Yeah. And now I understand why. Like, I get it now, and I would do the exact same thing if all of a sudden you're worried about somebody's hands, and then you're like, they're not that bad. I'll just stand here. I'm okay. I would change my game plan too. Like, it would change things up. Are you going to have that same type of game plan against Philippou because of his style and his nature too? He kind of sits back and waits a little bit with big hands, or is it a completely different kind of game plan with him?
But with Philippou, he's dangerous obviously with his hands. I got to pressure him at times, and I gotta fade back. I think sometimes I push forward too hard in the past with certain fighters, and when I can. If I take my time more and I gauge their distance and their timing, I can, I'll be a lot sharper, cleaner fighter. And so you'll see a little mixture of both. I'll be finding his timing, then I'll be cutting him off around the cage and using everything I have. I can kick him in the head, I can punch him in the face, I can take him down, and I can punch him, I can ground and pound him, I can submit him. So he's got to be worried about a lot of things I'm going to bring to the table, and I'm ready to implement all those.
He used to be with Longo, and he changed camps now. Him and Sarah separated. Him and Longo separated ways. He went a different way. When you're watching tape on a guy that changed camps a short time ago, not saying that he just changed camps, but is it hard to look at tape on him and make sure and see what he's going to be doing and think about what he's going to be doing since he's with a different coaching staff, or is it just as easy to watch a guy change camps, to watch his last couple of fights, even though when he's in the new camp, and still figure out what he's going to do?
From what I understand, he's leaving Chris Weidman and all the good wrestlers he's been around. So, if anything, he's going to lose a little bit of his wrestling, and he's in a boxing gym, from what I understand. And he's got that New York style boxing, and so I don't know where he's at, but I just train like I do every camp. I train to get better at everything, and I'm prepared for obviously the best Philippou. You can't look at his last body of work. You look at his, everything he does. Not his last fight, but his whole body of work. And so, I expect him, obviously, be looking to box like he usually does and keep the distance. And I'm ready for whatever he brings to the table.
All right, Luke. Thanks for coming out here, MMA Oddsbreaker. I won't keep you. I know it's your day off. I'll let you get to resting and healing. Have fun. It's gonna be really fun down there. It unfortunately is Duluth, Georgia. So it's a little far away for me. But actually, I want to try to get down there because I want to see some of my buddies in Georgia. But I'm not sure if I can make that trip yet or not. But it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to watch you fighting again. Your second time in. Last question before I let you go. You said first time in with Vitor, you felt like a little emotional going down to Brazil. Put a little extra pressure on yourself because you're fighting UFC. Do you feel that same kind of thing now? Or are you kind of okay? This is what's going to happen. I get the media. I get I get Burt Watson yelling at me coming down the hallway. I get the weigh-in crowd. Like, are you more comfortable with it now?
Yeah, no, it's a different situation. This isn't Vitor. This is a different fighter, and I'm not having to go down to Brazil. That's nice. you know, I mean, I've met Costa and I'm cool with him. So I mean, I put that emotional bullshit behind me, and I'm focused on what I need to do right now, and I'm not fucking around. I'm coming to fucking. You know, it's a bad time to fight me. I'm just focused and motivated, and there'll be no emotional investment in this fight. I guarantee you that.
That's Luke Rockhold. He's getting ready to fight Costa Philippou coming up here on January 15th. UFC Fight Night 35.
Constantinos, remember Constantino.
You want to make us like a gentleman. I mean, what you know?
It sounds more prestigious, you know. When I'm training, and like when I talk about him, you know, it's like I'm fighting Constantinos, not Costa. You know, it's just a little more motivating.
It's like back in my day, we had to hate each other to be able to fight when we first started. Like everybody had to hate each other. It was just how it is. Now it's like, no, I'll make this guy sound better. I want to be a better guy. I want to be, you know, sound better and feel better about himself. So I'm gonna change his name a little bit, or call him by his full name in this case. So.
Yeah,
perfect.
I like it.
Thanks, Luke. I appreciate it. But we'll talk to you soon.
Right on. See ya.